Hi, good evening.
Hi, hi, Gaurav. Hi, Andres. How are you
Hi,
doing?
Andres.
Hello, hello. How you doing,
Good,
guys?
good, good. Good, fantastic. Welcome to this webinar. And we've got people signing in right now. We got Jagrit, Bhagesh, Tamal, Edwin. We got Faizan. We got Srikumar, Prasad, Rahul. Lots of people who are joining in right now. So we'll give them a couple of minutes to, for more people to come in and get Andres to speak on his dream project of ecotourism and conservation, which is the subject for today. And this is, in the meantime, let me start with some introductions. Let me introduce Andres Trujillo through you to um, to tell you who he is and why is he doing what he's doing. I'll read his introduction out to you. So, Andres Trujillo is a world renowned professional naturalist from Bogota, Colombia. He has lived for decades in Ecuador. He is passionate about wildlife, forest, oceans, music, and sharing conservation everywhere he travels. He focuses his efforts on creating memorable experiences for his clients in nature and sharing with local people in their natural environment. Andres is well known for his knowledge of wildlife and culture, his photography, people skills, and love for nature and adventure. When he arrived from Colombia, he was raised in a humid rainforest in the northwest lowlands of Ecuador, where he fell in love with nature. After seeing the issue of deforestation as a kid, he started spreading the word about sustainability and conservation. Years after he studied ecology and ecotourism, working in the Amazon rainforest with nature and indigenous tribes, who played an important role for him to understand and to approach the issue of human development. Sharing his love for wildlife and photography, he can be a great companion for people who want to cover a country, capturing special creatures or moments for you to take home. After that, he became well known in the tourism business. Andres has taken a great number of guests who follow him to every new destination he opens or to start another crazy idea.
Mhm.
Working as a consultant for many international companies, he started creating and planning high-end innovative tourism projects in several countries of Latin America. Lots of tours for bird watchers, sport fishermen, and high-end adventure tours. So that's a bit about Andres. He's an old friend of mine. I've met him many times on many occasions, and I really admire the kind of work he's doing. Like I say, that all conservation work happens at the grassroots level. You can do policies, you can do strategies, you can do various kinds of things in your offices, but the real conservation will happen with indigenous people on the ground because that is where the real challenge and the real success, real failures lie. So it's important to appreciate and understand the depth of ecotourism and conservation that go hand in hand. Um, I'll quickly introduce myself. My name is Mohit Aggarwal. I'm an ecotourism specialist trained by GSTC, Global Sustainable Tourism Council, Sustainable Tourism. I hold the position of vice chair at Asian Ecotourism Network. I'm the founder of Asian Adventures, which is a 30-year-old bird watching and a wildlife tour company, the largest in India for bird watching. And I'm also the founder of Global Wildlife Fair, which is going to happen in October 2025. It's a platform designed to integrate ecotourism and conservation through civil society uh, and indigenous communities to come on board and craft new ideas, new projects, uh, unearth the old ones which have gone defunct, and also encourage youth to take on um, wildlife conservation and ecotourism as a career path. The idea is to go deeper into the aspects of making conservation a self sustaining business model where the financial dependence is not on external bodies. That's my dream. And I want people to back me up and be with me and guide me as we go along in Global Wildlife Fair for the kind of work that Andres is doing and many other people across the planet. And over to you, Gaurav, to tell people about yourself a bit.
Thanks, Mohit. Namaste, everyone. My name is Gaurav Nalkur. I am qualified as a wildlife biologist, but for the last few years, I've been working in wildlife tourism, and I'm currently training to be an ecotourism expert. I'm a passionate wildlife lover and bird watcher, and I'm a great believer in the fact that ecotourism and wildlife tourism can be a great tool towards raising conservation awareness and also build bridges between tourism and conservation work, especially with local communities, which is what we're here to discuss today. And I'm very lucky to be working with Asian Adventures, who and Mohit, both of whom share my goal. And it's great to have Andres here today to talk about the kind of work that I'm really passionate about.
Over to you, Andres. It's all yours.
Okay.
And we will hide ourselves and we will go mute. You go ahead, and if you'd like to start with your presentation or anything that you want to say, over to you.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. So, yes, that was a really nice introduction. I want to start to share with you this amazing project that we are working on really, really hard. Actually, we've been growing quick. These past 2 years, we are being around 2 years. I'm going to start the presentation to show you exactly what we're doing. I don't know if you guys can see the slideshow.
Should I get it started?
Yes, please. I put a start there. And okay. So the location of our foundation is actually in Ecuador, in the eastern foothills of Ecuador. This is a place that is around 900 meters of elevation to maybe 1,000 meters. When you talk about the Amazon region, it can go from maybe 300 meters to 900. So we are actually on the foothills between the Amazon and the first cloud forest layer. So we share the wildlife and every aspect of nature of the Amazon with some parts of the cloud forest as well. So it's really, really, really incredible because of that, because you have these two worlds joining together. The villages that live around there are Quichua villages. The Quichuas of the Amazon are actually, if you can say, when the Spanish arrived a long time ago, you had the Quechuas that came from the south. They were Inca people. When the Spanish arrived, they used these people to do all their expeditions, all these indigenous people down to the Amazon. So the language is practically shared with the Andean Quechuas, and they're really similar, but they have been around maybe 1,000 years there. And they own big pieces of land, and they have a lot of needs, no? So that's why the pressure of the environment. So I cannot see the slide, the main slide on the main page is reading, like is.
Okay, can you see it now?
No, it's kind of like thinking.
Okay.
When I went to the next one.
Just a second, I'll try restarting it.
Sorry. But yeah, so this area, as I was telling you, is incredible. It needs a lot of help. So to tell a bit the story, I was with a guest going down there to see the Cock of the Rock. Cock of the Rock I don't know if all of you know it, but maybe yes, because it's so famous. On this side of the mountain is actually orange, not red, like the most of the cocks of the rock of the Andes. And with a guest, we heard a lot of deforestation happening. So he said to me, Andres, how can we help in this area? So I talked to the main guy of the village called Edwin. He might be on air right now, online. And Edwin Tanguila. And he exactly just tried to explain what was going on in the area. And we started to put some things together. That's how everything actually started. We started buying land after we saw papers, after we saw legality of the area, and we bought a piece of land that protected an umbrella bird, Amazonian umbrella bird lek in the region. So that's how everything really started. I don't know if the guests can see, still reading, thinking.
I think there's a glitch in the system. So give me a second. I'll don't go away. I will reboot the
Oh, there
system.
you go. Almost there. Yes.
1 second.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Please stay on. Don't go away. I'll reboot the system, and it
Okay.
should work.
Perfect.
Yeah. So reboot.
Ya, ya, ya. Déjala ajustadita para que entre la señal ahí. Sí. Hi, guys. I cannot hear you, but I can see the slideshow really good.
Yeah. Am I audible? I just wanted to ask everyone who's here, are Andres and I both audible and visible? Please type yes in the
I'm
chat.
good. I don't know if everybody can hear me now.
I can hear you just
Mohit, can
fine.
you hear me? Sri,
I think
Raul,
Mohit's having some
Kamal,
trouble getting in.
send me a message on the chat. Now it's working. I don't know if everybody can hear me. Perfect. Are we? I don't see you, Rajesh. Now. Sorry, Mohit. I see you now.
Yeah.
I see you now.
Okay, so
I don't
people are
see
saying we're
Gaurav,
both visible and audible.
but I see Mohit.
Yeah, now I think I can see your slideshow also. Go
Yes.
on, if everybody.
Okay. Should we keep going? Let me know.
Yeah, I think you can continue.
The slideshow is in good shape now. Okay. Should we start?
Yeah, I think we can start.
Slide not visible.
Hold on. No, slides are
Okay,
visible. That's what
great.
I'm
Can you
getting.
hear me as well?
Yes, Andres, go on. No problem.
Perfect. So yes, we were talking about the location a little bit. So if you see my cursor, is actually in this spot right here, northeast of Ecuador. That's where the village is. The village is called Wawa Sumaco. And the foundation, we called it Amarun Pakcha because of this incredible waterfall. I don't know if you see this rock. When you are there, this rock has a pointy head. And the shaman that we still have there, one of the last medicine men of the area, he does his cleansings and all his rituals up here. So the Amarun in their language means anaconda, and Pakcha, with the way it's written here, is means waterfall. Waterfall. So it actually means the anaconda waterfall. No, because Pacha in their language means land or Mother Earth, but this is Pakcha, so it's a bit different. Everything started because when I was with this guest behind this waterfall, there was a nest of white-collared swifts, and we saw him flying out of the hole right here behind the waterfall, and it was spectacular. So I said to Edwin, that is, I think he's online, I hope. He said, Tranquila, we have an amazing place here. There was white-capped dipper, there was a tiger heron there. And I said, man, do you know what is this? And he's like, no, we just use it sometimes for people to swim around. So we actually closed that up and we started doing conservation completely there. They've been working maybe 16 years trying to protect their forests. And they always had people that came in and they started talking about, we're going to help you with this and that. And they took the trees out, 300-year-old trees, and took advantage of them. So it was very difficult for me to gain the trust of them. And actually, the objectives or the main objectives that we have put in this foundation are to make a corridor. I'm going to show you that. Later on from that, and while this is happening, we're developing ecotourism projects with the lodge that we don't have yet. We have a cabin that we built really, oh, Edwin is there. You can see it on the chat, Edwin Tanguila. He is the president of the foundation, a guy that works amazingly hard with the team that are part of the foundation. Is 5 families. I'm the only Westerner, if you can say that. The whole foundation is from the village, is Quichua, and I'm going to tell you a little more about the projects we're doing with the village. So the corridor is the main thing, obviously, because without forest, we don't have anything else. We have now protected maybe 150 hectares with a projection of maybe 700 very, very soon. But the main objective is to reach maybe 3,000 to 4,000. And it's possible to do more if in the future we involve the other villages around us that now are watching us really closely. The other one is to start with the ecotourism part. It's already started. I placed some feeders there. Sorry, hummingbird feeders. We are feeding wood quails, tinamous. We're feeding gray cow wood rail. We have sparrows. We have some antbirds in moth traps and things like this. We have a lek of umbrella bird. Yes, but we do have a leg of Coco de Rock, the orange version. This Coco de Rock has a platform that they built themselves. I'm telling you, this team is amazing. They're like architects at the same time, engineers, and they work really hard. Obviously, now for free. So eventually, what I want to do with the ecotourism part is, and the production part, I'm going to tell you later, is to bring money into the foundation so we don't have to depend on external people, like what Mohit was saying. That is actually my dream as well, to have a self-sustained place. Right now, we're struggling a little bit with money as normal in these foundations, but we have had a lot of help from guests of mine and other people. So what the idea is to have a cabins there. We already went with a guy that does like prefabricated cabins, and we could have maybe two boxes, kind of like talking like that, with 2 rooms for 2 people. That is going to cost us maybe $30,000, and that will hold around 8 people. With that, we start a project. We start to get money in. So we're looking for that money. Then we already trained the guys to do bird watching in Spanish so far. They are learning English. We are doing a training with them in English. They have teachers now. I have found money for them to have binoculars. We have already 2 scopes. We have 4 computers. They went to a process of a diplomat for ecotourism that they graduated on. I'm talking about the close team, that we are 7 of us and myself, 6 of them of the village and myself. And we have one of the ladies that is helping us as well with donation from the USA, the one that brought and made possible the account, the bank account of the foundation, free of taxes in the USA. Then the other thing is to transition the agricultural part because of the pesticides and all the fertilizers they're using, and they're getting health problems and all this. They're cropping a fruit there called naranjilla that is causing most of the deforestation. Then the soil goes bad, then the cattle ranching arrives, and is, a destructive cycle. So with the new agricultural projects we're putting in, we are reforesting as well. That is part of the objectives. And we are trying to establish, that's in the future actually, a research station. It's a perfect place for a research station because of all the problems that you see there. This is the team. Edwin is right here. This is our friend the shaman, his wife, and these are the hardworking guys, Marta, Elsie, and my goodness, if you go one day there, you're gonna see amazing people. That's what makes everything different. That's my passion too, because they've done so much, and it's been so incredible to work with them that is making a huge difference. So this is the board right here. Da-da-da. What else? The background. Well, this is kind of what I was telling you about. How many hectares we have conserved. This little picture here that is sideways is the volcano. This volcano is inside a national park called Sumaco. The Sumaco National Park is around to almost 300,000 hectares of land, and is practically attached to us. So that is the dream, to find a way to connect, and we're really close to connect, at least with the small pieces, that national park. And from there, we can thicken the land and make a big conservation project that is happening already. These are the threads, as you can see. Deforestation, look at that beautiful wood coming out. This is the fruit I'm telling you about, and this is the way it looks after they do it. The other big problem is that they use trees to make the boxes to ship the fruit. So they only not take the trees to sell them, and super cheap. I've seen trees there, these are small. I've seen trees there that are maybe 200 years old, sold in $20. So that makes me cry almost, it's awful. And imagine in one tree in the Amazon, after a whole bunch of research that has happened in Peru, in Ecuador, the people have found 1,500 species of insects only in one tree. So, and in one of these studies, what they did is they bared the tree down. They took all the things growing from a tree in the Amazon, in the border of Ecuador and Peru. It was maybe a 250-year-old tree. And they took all the plants that grew on it, everything. but they didn't touch the tree, they didn't chop it. And they took it to a laboratory. They found around 1,500 species of insects. And in an average, when they did this, they had 5 to 15% species new for science. So that gives us an idea that we don't even know what we have in the world yet, and we're already destroying it. So this is crazy. It's something that makes me work harder, you know. So these are the threats. And imagine that for the boxes, they have to chop other trees in secondary forests. So it's crazy, crazy, crazy. The biodiversity on the region. This is the orange cock of the rock. We already built a platform that is incredibly well done. One of the best I've seen in my life, in my trips in Peru, in Ecuador, Colombia, in Guyana, in Argentina. Well, they don't have it there. In all the places I've been birding, from Cuba, Costa Rica, I've never seen a platform the way these guys did it, with their own hands, with no engineers, with nothing, just asking for materials of the oil companies that are lower down, and the big steel tubes and everything, and do it by hand. Everything super sturdy, super well done. Well, it's amazing. I don't know if I have a picture here. So the one below is the umbrella bird, Amazonian umbrella bird. This is another bird that is really endangered in the region, and is really spectacular. The two are actually from the same family. They're related. They're cousins. Right now, our list is going to around 380 species of birds. I know we have more. That includes a lot of the foothill specialties that is the foothill cloud forest, and the Amazonian lowlands as well. So to give you an idea, when you have the Andes Mountains, you divide the Andes Mountains, when you go east or west, into different layers that are called cloud forests. So from the paramos that are not cloud forests, that are the grasslands, where ice grasslands that are the ones that keep the water, then you have the temperate cloud forest that is kind of cold, it has different species, less diversity. Then you go down to subtropical or interandean valleys, then to subtropical cloud forest that has a little more diversity. That's kind of where the other birds that you will never see there, where we are. Then you have the foothill cloud forests that are just on the base almost. So all these cloud forests have an Andes, how you say that, like a background. So with all the eruptions that we have had through the millions of years, we still have some volcanic material all the way down there. Then you have the Amazon, that is the lowlands, that is really unfertile. It's not cloud forest anymore. And it's very clayish in the soil, really bad if you chop it, because it will never grow up. But where we are, we still have this amazing influence of the Andes from the past. So the forest actually renews quick still there. Not as quick as the subtropics or the temperate, but really quick still. So this is a good thing when we think about buying land in the future that has been chopped already. So some of the foothill cloud forests here, military macaw is really, really, really endangered. Things like foothill elenia, things like Ecuadorian tyrannulet, Andean lanisoma is a mythical bird almost. We have it there. Deep blue flower piercer, just on the layer. If you see on the distribution map any of these birds that I just named, they're going to be a line on the distribution from 900 to 1200 meters of altitude. The same with coppery-chested jacamar and a lot of other amazing birds. And then we have some Amazonian species like you see here, Salvin curassow, great-winged trumpeter, jaguar. We just found out we have jaguar for sure, mountain. And I think we have the mountain tapir because the volcano has it in front. And we do have lowland Amazon tapirs. So they might be a place where they meet. You know, that's amazing. At the mountain, we have a spectacle bear as well. That is not a foothill. Well, it does come to the foothills, but not where we are too much. But we could have it there at the reserve as well because of the big land we have in connection with the national park. Woolly monkey, spider monkey, one of the hardest monkeys to see. The first ones to go extinct with hunting because of their maturity in terms of sexual maturity, 6 to 8 years. So imagine you have a group of monkeys of, let's say, spider monkeys, a group of 6, and you have ages from 2 to 5 to 6, and then you have the mother and the father, and then you shoot the mother and the father, and then you keep in the forest only maybe a baby, maybe one of these 2 years old, other is 3 years old, 5 years old. Imagine they need 3 to 5 more years for them to start breeding again and to find another group. So hunters will find them before that happens. That's why woolly monkey and spider monkey are so important. Well, we have sloth there, 2 species, lots of amphibians, amazing things, amazing, amazing diversity there. So here are some pictures: blue morpho, colored trogon. We have a few species of squirrels, tree frogs. This is the oilbird. We just bought a piece of land that goes through the river that has these guys, very important birds as well for distribution of palm trees. They eat palm trees mainly, and they are the ones planting palm trees around all the forest. An amazing bird. Some of the mammals, the jaguar, spectacled bear. These are the black mantled tamarin monkeys. Very curious. When we put bananas for the tanagers, these guys come and steal them all. They're crazy. Sometimes we have to put the bananas far away. Lots of species of mushrooms and plants. This is the woolly monkey, an amazing animal, and really sought after by hunters because look at that. So a lot of meat, and when the palm trees are starting to fruit, they love that, and they get greasy, and they love that meat. So another thing we're teaching the village to stop the hunting, and they actually did stop it. But now we have other villages from the edges that are coming into the places that are close to the national park. And we're putting cameras. We have 3 cameras there that were donated, and we're putting them in there, and we're taking pictures. And Edwin goes straight to the president of these villages, and they tell him, look, this is the guy coming in. And now they're a bit afraid of coming into our land. So we're working really hard with that. But the village where the foundation is set actually is respecting wildlife, and that's amazing. White-throated toucan here. Great. This is a wire-crested thorntail. It's a foothill specialty on the east only of Colombia and Ecuador. Goes a little bit to Peru. A beautiful hummingbird with little tufts here. This is the female right there. This is long-tailed tyrant. It's a beauty. It's kind of common around the Amazon. Golden nape tanager. This guy goes up to the subtropics and down. And the Jacobi, really common bird, but very pretty. There's loads of them, and a lot of migrants as well. So this forest is protecting a lot of migrant species from the US and Canada, warblers, thrushes, etc., etc. So very, very important. This is a map right here that kind of pictures in your head a little better what we're doing there. So this is the main road. Was built maybe 4 decades ago. I remember me and myself birding in this lodge. There's a little road that comes here, and everything here was primary forest. Now it doesn't exist. It's all cattle ranch and naranjilla production. And this little village is the last village to the national park that comes. I don't know if you see the cursor, but the line here divides up here, let's say, is the national park. That's why I put here Sumaco National Park, 205,000 hectares. It's called the Great Sumaco because down here below us, let's say below the picture, there's another ridge that is part of the Sumaco, but they call it the Great Sumaco when the two are together. So imagine if we could keep preserving this place and go across the road and link it to the other big piece that is isolated now and all deforested around it. That will be a super incredible success where we will need maybe 10 or 15,000 hectares to do that. And it's possible because I've seen it done. And that would be the super, super, super big dream of this foundation. Around here, you have other villages, Pacto Sumac. Over here, you have another one. Over here, you have a Guamani, and you have a lot of them. And some of them are coming to us and asking us, Andres, we want to get involved. How can we do what you're doing? Help us out. So we know that there is a curiosity and there is the will of other people to join something like this. But as I was telling the team and Edwin and everybody, I was telling them, we got to focus right now in this, and then we can actually maybe copy it to other places. And that would be amazing. There's other foundation that is very big in Ecuador that is starting to buy forest on the subtropics, coming up from the mountain down from the Andes. So I'm trying to talk to them. It's been a little hard, but we want to link with what they're doing. Maybe we can get some resources from them. So these are the guys that are coming in and hunting to our spot. and we have cameras all over these edges now to have an idea. This is where the village is, where these blue spots are. To get to these places for us to measure land is like a 10-hour walk, the way they walk. So for us, maybe 2 days or something. So these are the parcels that we're focusing on. But around here, we have a lot more to get involved with. The blue ones are the ones that we have bought and we have some debt. The green ones are completely bought. We just bought this gray one recently, and we just prepaid these three over here. These three over here, for me, were always the critical ones, because attaches the village itself all the way to the communal reserve, that is this one, and all the way to the national park. So John Bruce, the guy that has helped me first with this, the pioneer, it just gave us the income, the down payment for these three. These red ones we lost, and this little green one is the one that we started the project with. And over here, this gray we already bought, and we are linking it. This is the waterfalls, or the waterfalls and the petroglyphs, and we have found over here ancestral grounds from 2,000 years old of indigenous people. So all the ancestors of these guys. So maybe here you have a really, really good idea of what we're doing. So the idea now, with the new money coming with the ladies that I'm taking to Ecuador in April, if we can, is my strategy is going to be to buy these edges on the right-hand side. That way we can lock people in, and then we start focusing on the little islands. All this is primary forest. And this place on green is the backrest, what they call backrest. Every village there leaves that spot pristine for the future, for the kids of the kids. That's the way they think. But we want to claim it as a foundation, and the village wants to give it to us as a foundation. The only problem is the legality. There's no legality. There's no parcels. It's just in the wilderness. So now we're struggling a little bit with that. But Edwin is really good at doing all this paperwork and talking to everyone, the government, the national park, the Ministry of Environment. And the idea is to gain the possession of this legally, or they are talking about giving it to us for 20 to 30 years. The only problem for me is that if I die, what is going to happen in 30 years if we're not there anymore? So how we can make sure that this stays forever. So that's kind of the way it is. I hope this helps you to have an idea of the geography of the place. I'm so happy that these three parcels are now in our possession. That makes our dream 99% complete in terms of the corridor, because now we have linked this with this with this, and this is the pristine that we're still trying to get a hold of. And the national park is up here above it. Okay. So yes, the little cabins that we built by hand, these are really old. We didn't do this when I arrived. They did it themselves. But we are building other ones, and we are building them actually over here, where the little dots are. And we talked to a guy that does prefabricated bamboo rooms that are going to be like a really nice lodge, actually, because they do it really, really well. And I hope that we can get how much it's going to be, because that will set a new business coming in. As soon as we have these cabins built, the good ones, there's loads of people that want to get in there and sleep there and eat there, and that's a whole business and self-sustained business. So the ecotourism part is working because we have guides, we have the equipment, we have the little other cabins, but we cannot offer it to every birder. We have to offer it to birders that want to pay a little more, be more comfortable. The girls and the guys that work in the kitchen and the housekeeping, they're already trained, they do amazing dishes. So we're right there, almost there. And that's the idea, to start that self-sustained ecotourism project with the cabins, and that will give us an income that we can pay the people, and we can stop a little bit depending from other sources. No. So over here you see the main team. all of them. Some of them were working, so we have no pictures with all of them. This is one of our teams as well with one of the petroglyphs. This is Edwin, our president, the main head of the place. This maybe is a 250-year-old tree. This is a little entry from like a starter from a lunch. For breakfast, they do little nests. That's why I put it there, like little nests with the egg. Over here we have, this was the Javeriana University from Cali, Colombia, that came to the village, and all the team went through this process of a diplomat in ecotourism. They graduated. This is the full team, no? I mean, there's maybe two more included there. So this is the main guy there. It was a superb thing to have. Now they have their diploma and motivated them. Over here we have some pictures of the team with the scopes, with their binoculars, the cameras. This is Paul Greenfield, an icon of bird watching. He did the first bird book of Ecuador, one of the first books in Latin America, field guides and actually book itself. This is a bird fair that we attended. This is our main guy for the birding. This is Byron. Byron went through a huge accident a few months ago, and he's in really bad shape. We're trying to help him too. He's got to go through a whole bunch of surgeries. Very sad. This guy was actually trained by a little bit by me, but mainly by an ornithologist from Belgium, and he is amazing with calls, and he's my main guy for the birding part. So we need him to be healthy and back in business. This is our shaman doing some demonstration, because the idea is to have two sides of ecotourism, the birding and a little bit of their culture as well, because it's very important for them as well. So we could have two sides of it. In the future, let me go back here 1 second. In the future, the idea I have with Edwin is to start another lodge. We haven't told anybody, so don't tell anybody. So there's a road that people is bringing, the village is bringing down here, so they can reach their land over here. And the road was coming this way, and we stopped it by in this part and this part. So the road won't go deeper, but in the future can be actually good for us, because the volcano, you can see it over here above this piece. So the idea is to make a bigger lodge, a lot more high-end lodge over here with a view of the volcano, and keep this one for maybe a lower budget one and the cultural part of the project. No, we made some signs really well done with money that came, but we needed more signs to put in the reserve, and the ladies just started to do it themselves. So as I'm telling you, they never stop. This is some of the birds we have there that we are feeding, the wood quail, the homers. We have deeper on the waterfall. We have maybe 5 species of owls, 5 or 6 species of owls. One of the beautiful birds that we have there. They don't go to feeders. They go to heliconias, one of these adaptations that are amazing. Sicklebill. Okay, what is this here? Oh, sorry, the cursor is not visible. Sorry about that. So the petroglyphs. This is another incredible aspect of the foundation. We just found this in the river on the right-hand side of the foundation after the waterfalls, and there's loads and loads of these type of petroglyphs. So we hired a guy that is been studying them. The lady you see down there is cleaning them. His daughter. You got to go into the river. Now we just built a trail to get in there, and the studies come out that they are around 2,000 years old. So this is an amazing thing. We might have even old how you say that, like villages or something in there hiding into the forest. We have found some cemeteries as well, and we want to keep that in the ground until somebody will come and tell us exactly what to do with all that. We don't want to bring it out, but it's another precious thing that we have, and that they want to preserve it too, the village, because it's part of their inheritance, it's part of their heritage. Exactly. So another side of the story here that is very important to involve the village, not only the team that you saw that graduated from the diplomat, but the whole village has to be involved. That way we can start changing mindsets. But to do that, they have to feel that what they're doing is going to have some sort uh, of income in the future. And as you know, if there's no income, they will keep destroying the forests. So we started a project with sustainable agriculture with a teacher you see in the lower right with the blue jean and the blue shirt. He is half indigenous and half mestizo, and he is actually the one that is teaching them to switch. We found this guy and a friend of mine called Galo that started the project as well, to start to do this switch of mindset and practical too. So we started with sustainable practices to avoid pesticides and fertilizers. So what we're doing now is we're doing these how they call them like organic soups. So he has taught them how to do that and to place them in the plants instead of the pesticides, and it's working really well. We did soil studies. We started with all the village. We had on the first training, we had 45 people coming that are not part, well, only 4 or 5 were part of the closed team of the board, but the rest were just from the village. And they were looking at us like they didn't believe in us. Eventually, on the second day, we had 50. On the third day, we had 45. And still today, we have 47. It's been a year and a half almost of this. And they are applying it to all their land, to the products that they're putting in their land, mainly coffee, cocoa, like you see on the little boy with the yellow shirt. This is the Arriba cacao that is original, actually, from the coast of Ecuador, from the world. And the purple that you see around the world is a hybrid, no? But what people really look for is this yellow one that is really the one that has all the notes and of flavor and all the benefits, and is the one that sells very expensive nowadays. But as any project that has agriculture involved, you need to know how to sell it and how to ship it and where to sell it. And this has been the tricky part for me and for us right now. But what we did, we were thinking, if we go to every plot of farms from the village, we're never gonna end. So the central picture you see with the roofs, they build them themselves. And what we did is we bought a piece of land that has 5 hectares, very close to the parking lot, and down there in the town, in the village. And we did a farm that is called the pilot farm. So all the things that we do in the pilot farm, they learn, and then they take it to their own spot. And then the agricultural boss there, he goes and visits them and see if they're doing what they're supposed to do. And it's working really well. The soil has recovered really well. The coffee's coming up. We have these mushrooms that are oyster mushrooms. We have hot peppers. We have cocoa. We have a lot of other products that we brought. We just bought like 15,000 plants of fruits and stuff like that. So they're short term. So they can start selling them and using them for their family before all this takes off. Because coffee will be 2 years at least, and we are already 1 with the coffee. So we need another year until we can harvest it. We already bought a huge machine that peels it off, and we're doing really well with this. There's it's called Earth Rising, and that is giving us around $20,000 a year to keep this happening. And now we have to work with them for the next year, for this year. It's going to be tricky too. So we need to keep these people involved because they get unmotivated, and then it's really bad. We have to keep them going forever until we have a brand, a product that is selling, and they're getting an income. That's very tricky. These are the threads that I was showing you. You know, Naranjilla deforestation. Look at that. They burn it. It's not a slash and burn, but it's easier for them to burn so they can chop later on. I didn't put anything in research because, as I was telling you, it's not there yet. It's going to be one of the last things in the project. And research is very important. Why? It's very important because research will give us, this is a perfect place for research because you have deforestation, you have primary forest, you have cattle ranching, you have agronomy. So they can do all sorts of mixtures, and they can research not only the wildlife, the primary forest, but the impacts of one thing, the impacts of other thing, how things recover, how the forest regenerates. So we want to build in the map I gave you, I showed you before. We want to build one close to the the area we are not touching, the one in green above that says backrest. So the idea is to put a research station there, and obviously they will have to go on donkeys or something at the beginning, like all research stations, and have something really well set up there so they can research the surrounding areas. Yeah, so I think I'm practically done. I went very quick, maybe not, but at the end I placed pictures of the donors, the main donors, that are Ellen Jacobson, very good friend of mine, and John Bruce. They've they gave us, man, they maybe John is close to $200,000 and Ellen maybe 120. And with that, we've been able to do everything I just showed you, but we still need a lot. So yes, guys, I hope that you had a good time, and then that you understood what I was saying. I don't know if you have any questions, and I would be very happy to answer them.
Thank you very much for this fantastic webinar. Uh, Very informative, I must say, on this. And the kind of work that you put in is mind blowing, because it's not possible to get this work done on its own. You have to put your, you have to put your skin in the game. It's absolutely wonderful. I know we talked about it last time, and we did talk about raising funds. And congratulations, you managed to do the linkage, which was bothering you all the time, about linking the village to the jungle, and then that has happened. Do you want to tell people why they should, when they travel to Colombia or to your area, why they should visit you? You know, what is it in for them, and what sort of lodge or amenities, and so that can then lead to some sort of dialogue with them, because they would want to experience it themselves uh, before they get into any sort of fundraising for you. you
Mm-hmm.
know so it's important to make them understand how to get there, and what is the best time, what will they expect,
Mm-hmm.
all of that. If Gaurav, if you can put his email ID here, let
Sure,
people
I'll do that.
email him
I'll share.
directly. Yeah, because you see, without communicating what's their takeaway, they'll not be able to experience it. Now, there are hundreds of people from India and from other parts of the world who would want to travel for to such a place which is so biodiverse and so rich, and experience it. And then they are the ones who will open up more doors for you.
Mm-hmm.
So um, this is the kind of work that we want to promote.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah.
Exactly.
So,
I see a question from Divya Sharma.
Devi Sharma, how are
So,
you dealing with rich and powerful people who want to exploit the natural resources for their financial gains?
so over there, Sharma, we don't have yet this type of thing like you see maybe in Borneo, or I don't know, in Africa or stuff like that. What we have there is the same village doing all these deforestation, because they need money to make it through, to put their kids to college, to send them to the military training, to pay for health insurance, to pay for hospitals, to pay for education, transportation, food. So with the COVID, when COVID happened, they went through a time where they had nothing in terms of resources, and the only thing they have is the forest. So they start selling the trees. They try to plant these orange fruit that I showed you called naranjilla, and it grows maybe 2 years or 1 year and a half, and then you have to switch to another place because of the soil of the area. So that actually spreads and spreads and spreads, and then what is left behind, they just put cows. But we don't really have these huge companies coming in. We did have some people that arrived a while ago that were like, they came, these guys as engineers, and they said, we're going to help you to produce coffee and this. They took the trees and disappeared forever. But it's nothing like huge like it happens in other places. And if you go to that region, guys, if you have more questions, I hope I was able to answer that, Divya Sharma. If you have more questions, please feel free to write them there in the chat. And to tell you what Mohit was asking, to get to Ecuador, yeah, you can fly. It's actually international airport to Quito, the capital city. And I have written a couple of trips that the foundation are gonna be after. So it's not like a company of tourism or anything. The foundation is already offering a couple of trips, a cultural trip and a bird watching trip or bird wildlife trip. So that trip will start from Quito down towards the Amazon, and it starts on the high Andes in the mountains, where you can get Andean condor, you can see white-tailed deer, silvery grebe, you can see canasteros, you can see Andean fox, and things like this. Beautiful national park, lots of stuff to see, giant hummingbirds, sword-billed hummingbird, carunculated caracara, where the condors are the main thing, obviously, black-chested buzzard eagle, and things like that. Sometimes we get great horned owls and things. And then we go down towards the temperate cloud forest, and then we do some birding there in this temperate cloud forest, trying to get great-breasted mountain toucan, lots of hummingbirds that are amazing there, torrent duck, and then from there we come down towards the subtropics. That area has other birds, turquoise jay, Inca jay. They have a lot of bamboo specialists as well, more chances for torrent dog, white-capped dipper, spectacle berries possible, and then down towards where we are. Then you spend there 2-3 nights because the diversity is higher, and you can get a lot of the species that I just showed you. And then we do a link or an extension to the lowlands Amazon, to another cultural trip, cultural lodge that is called Sani or Walsumaco, depending on the budget, where you can see black caiman, anaconda, well, lots of things, giant otter.
Pandis, are you coming to India for Global Wildlife Fair in October?
I think so. Yes, I'm planning. I'm planning for it. Okay. I'm just finding
if you come, then you'll be able to meet a whole lot of people here who are already here in the webinar, and they would want to discuss things with you in person. And then you can get a slot to present, a travel plan and your case study differently. And then what we do is now we will start to work with you on this project to appeal to the visitors and to other people for your funds, what you require. But you need to be very specific to build a case study now and send it to us how you want us to project it, because we're going to be addressing the world community. We are not only restricted to India. It's called Global Wildlife Fair. So we're taking on issues which are dealing with indigenous communities for conservation. And you are a great model to showcase. Do sign up on Asian Ecotourism Network. They are our support partners. And like I said, that you already had a talk with Vivek on this. I'm meeting Vivek on the 11th. We will be talking about your project as well and taking it forward. In the meantime, we've posted your email address for other people to contact you. And friends, if you want to be a part of this community, do join in. And slowly we will be doing these webinars regularly with people like Andres, who will then not only showcase their case studies, but they'll also be discussing, between each other, how to leverage the power of the community, how to go across, how to learn, how to get funds, and how to make it self-sustainable. So this is an ongoing thing. If your heart lies in conservation, you have to work with people. Yeah, the elephants and the tigers are not saying come and conserve us. They're saying stay away from us. Don't worry about our science. Don't worry about our habitats. Just leave us alone. So it's people to people interaction. When we're talking about conservation, it's people to people because people are the destroyers and people are the ones who are bothered about it. We don't have to. We have to manage species. We have to manage uh, habitats, but more than that, it's people management. And where the money is going to go, where is good money, where is it being parked, and what is it doing um, with our planet? We need to address this. So thank you on this. I'll have to. We've done 1 hour. We're trying to restrict it to 1 hour in 1 hour time schedule so that people can go and have the dinner. And but it doesn't end there. It starts here. So we'll start building a community of people like you to help each other at every step. So, friends, if you're doing any sort of work which is related to this kind of conservation work, please join the platform. Write to me or write to Gaurav or write to Andre, and we will be taking this forward together as a community. I hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Reach out to me anytime, and I'm happy to add you to the community groups.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mohit. You've been great with me. We've been friends for a while now, and I think we want to. I would love to keep this going, this friendship, and we could do maybe huge things in the future together.
Yeah, a deep respect for you, Andres, for doing this work. And I know that your heart lies in there, and I'm there with you at every step.
Exactly.
So is Gaurav. Gaurav Hart.
Definitely.
Gaurav is a biologist, bird biologist, by education. His heart lies in ecotourism, and this is his journey. So, we are all in it together with you.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anything you need, let me know. Okay, we'll be in touch for sure.
Fantastic. Thank you, friends. Thank you for listening to Andres and attending this webinar. We'll
Thank you
bring
all.
more to you soon and be a part of it. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you. Good night.